Here we go. Remember, it's 2015. This is a video and see if we can get this Home Life 2700 PSI 2.3 GPM pressure washer started that's been sitting down. Shoot, it could have been 3-4 years. That's the model number, UT80993F. Yeah, this could have sitting down maybe 5 years possibly, or longer. I'm gonna see if I can get this started. So I did was I looked at the filter. I mean, it's got some thing in it, so I'll probably just replace it. But that is the carburetor is really where I'm gonna be iffy. And the carburetor's behind here. And that is the drain for the carburetor. So those who don't know, that right there, when you store it, you unscrew that and you drain the fuel from there. Because what happens is gas will eventually turn to turpentine or shellac, they call it. And it's like if you get sugar and you let sugar dry, it gets real hard. And when you put new gas in there, the shellac or the turpentine will contaminate the gas, and the gas will be null and void. So what it does is, like, just think of a sugar heated up, then dried, and it looks real hard, and the gas is just lifting up the sugar, like melting it. So that's going to be the first test right there. The second test, of course, is if you smell this right here in the tank. If it smells like turpentine or shellac, you already know that tank has to be cleaned out. So I'm going to do the smell test. Okay, it smells like fuel still in there. So that's a good sign. Another thing is always you're going to replace the spark plug regardless. Spark plug you're just going to have to replace. It doesn't matter. You've had something sitting there. The spark plug has to be replaced. Now, when I was 18 years old, I literally took I don't even know where the hell the spark plug is. I literally took a freaking snow blower that was in the garbage and got it running. There it is. And all I did was replace the spark plug and I cleaned out the carburetor. I did do a pull test on this just to make sure it turns. So I'll do another pull test on here. So we'll see. Oops. Like I said, you'll know. Anyway, it turned. So that's the main thing. If that did not turn, the cylinders did not turn, then it's no good. This is off. This is run, start. That's the fuel. So the fuel line has been left open. See, that's another thing. See, when you put it away for the winter, one of two things. You could stop it there, take this hose off, and drain the tank from here. Or you could just stop it and then drain the carburetor and let it run till it runs out of gas in the carburetor, because that's where a lot of the non-starting stuff will start from. So let's see if I can get this running. Now, I did find the whole carburetor kit for 18 bucks, and I think I did a video of me replacing a carburetor on a lawnmower and got it running. All right, so that's tight. Let's loosen it. But the whole carburetor with the spark plug, air filter, everything for for $18 is not bad. You can clean this with carburetor cleaner. You see? See, that's the shellac. See, that's shellac. That powder and everything. And that's the float. The float moves freely. So this isn't that bad. I might be able to get away with it. I'll get away with it. So I'm going to see if I have some either brake cleaner and carburetor cleaner. And get, because like I said, the gas will lift this up here. See the scratch there? See how clear it is? That's what the gas will lift up. That will contaminate a friggin' you drop this into a 5-gallon thing of gas, this will contaminate the whole gas, and the gas won't run again. So this looks pretty good. This isn't that bad. I can get that sprayed out. I could probably spray some through here. I'm gonna see if I can, if this is a cover or if this is the whole carburetor, because I don't want to take off this cover and then to find out I removed the carburetor. For that, I just replace the carburetor. But the less that I can do, the better. But I do know this much. This right here, this spark plug definitely has to get changed or cleaned. But changed is the better of the two. Now sometimes these things are hard to get off. Anytime, even on vehicles and everything, you got to be careful when you pull, because it's snapped in there. You can rip this. They do sell a plier tool for this, a plastic thing that pulls these off. But you got to be careful when you pull that sucker out there, because you don't want to rip that. Let me see how I can do that there. Okay. You don't want to get a metal friggin', there we go. And I'll show you the thing. Inside there looks real good. Again, I think this thing has been used a couple times. All right, let me get the other socket. Now, spark plug you can get at any general, local, AutoZone. You just bring in this spark plug. They're already pre-gapped. Let's see what the spark plug looks like. But so far, I'm smelling gas. The only bad thing is that you see that shellac? That could be in the tank too. I gotta get a flashlight and really look deep in there just to make sure. Because like I said, that will contaminate. And I hate to put gas in here. Yeah, she's been used. Good clean burn, but still. Just replace that sucker. Yeah, I gotta get a flashlight inside that. Let me get a flash. Another thing, remember that shellac too can be in the fuel lines, coating the fuel lines. Let's see if I can get it in there. I see some stain there. Now there's an additive you can put in here that helps. Let me get this better. There's that pink additive I always show people that I put, but that doesn't look bad. That looks pretty clean. So this has been properly drained and everything. All right, that must be the fuel thing there. Okay. Yeah, this is clean. This is pretty clean, as you can see. So far, so good. All right, so let's just go to, I might not even need an air filter. Or I think I might just need spark plug and the gas. And either carburetor or brake cleaner. But that's the number there. You just hand this to them and they get this number here and they can link it up to another spark plug. But I mean, other than the only reason I wasn't going to use this air filter was because it had little speckles, but a good test is, of course, is if you put it through the sunlight and you could see through it, then you're good. Again, I mean, I'm just gonna use this one. I'm trying to save money. And if I can get this running like I did when I was 18 years old with just a spark plug and clean up the carburetor, we got ourselves, I don't even know how much this sucker costs, but we got ourselves a power washer, very strong power washer. One of the most important thing I forgot to show you guys, of course, is the oil. It's another thing. See, this has a dipstick. Okay, it has a dipstick. I mean, oil is there. Like I said, this thing has not been used, but now I will say this much. Depending, I'll probably be using this on 3 houses. Depending on how I use this here will determine if I replace this oil. Because remember, this could be 5+ year old oil. I don't even know how old this machine is to begin with, but I know it's never, ever had any maintenance done to it or anything. 2015. This is a 21/6 of 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an 11-year-old power washer that's probably been used 2 times in its entirety life. And that's not bad for the gas and the shellac in there. So again, if I was to start up a power washing company, I would definitely give this, a new air filter, change the oil. But because this is just going to be for a couple of houses that I'm going to paint, this can be that air filter is good enough. Definitely need a spark plug. The oil is good enough, but this would be an annual, like my lawnmowers. I would probably change it, every year, just depending if I use this once or twice a year to do my sidewalks and everything. Because this one here will be a hell of a lot easier than the electric one that we did had. It did its job. It took a beating because not only, am I doing this, and BB bought this online. That electric one did its job. It did 2 houses. Was doing it for every year, driveways, everything. And it finally just is not there no more. That's what I have to be careful down here, is that pump, that pressure pump. That's another concern once I get the engine running, is that pressure pump there. But I don't think there's going to be an issue with all that. But then again, just like any vehicle, when it sits for too long, things start going bad when you start using it every day because it's been sitting there, like the bearings and everything. So let's go to AutoZone, pick up a spark plug and some brake cleaner and possibly a carburetor cleaner. I had worked in AutoZone for 7 years part-time, not at this store, but I was the first part-timer back in 2000 that ever held a manager's position. They never gave part-timers manager position. They do now, but I broke the mold. And the reason I like AutoZone, because no matter where you go to, whether it's Puerto Rico or see if they have their own brake cleaner, there we go, $5. Oh, $4.49. No matter where you go to, whether it's Mexico or Puerto Rico, your warranty is for life in all the stores. I don't shop nowhere else but AutoZone. Alrighty, let me see if I got anything over here. Just trying to see if they have something similar to this air filter. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, they got their little section here a lawnmower. And this here is the air filter for it. Right there. I'm getting lucky. This is expensive. This is $12.99, $49 for that. Jesus. That's expensive. All right, they had everything. They had everything. What shocked me was that air filter. $12.99. That's not bad. They do veterans discount here. What I loved about AutoZone is you see all that? You can borrow a tool. You pay for the tool, you use it, you bring it back, and they give you a full refund. They recycle your oil and batteries. Batteries, they give you like $5 or $8 a battery for that there. Check engine light, free battery charge, testing starters. But that's what I love about AutoZone. A lot of free service. Like I said, I worked here 7 years at the one. And what's good about AutoZone too is that if you needed hours, you can work at any AutoZone wherever you want to that needed help. And I used to work in Winter Haven. I did the Arbondale, but my main store was in South Lakeland and North Lakeland. But I mean, I miss working there. All right, let's get home. Let's see if we get this sucker started. All right, the one thing I did forget is the anti-seize for the threads. I thought I had some, but I don't have none. But you can use anti-seize on these threads here. All right. Now, a lot of people probably watching this video are like, thought this was like how to fix it, repair it. This is kind of, but this is just the way how we make videos. You don't have to gap these. These are already pre-gapped. Just always make sure you put this in with your hand first. If it doesn't screw in with your hand first, then obviously you can cross thread it if you go straight to the thing. Basically, hand tight, because there's a little washer that gets flat and you can feel it when you go like this. See, it's just hand tight. That's it. I use dielectric grease. You can use bulb grease. That will make this come on and off easier, and it keeps any moisture or anything inside here. So the next time I was to replace these, it'll be a hell of a lot easier. And like I said, it keeps the moisture out of it. And then you just listen for the snap. There's the snap. Right there. All right, and the reason I use brake cleaner, because it's a non-chlorinated. This here, you can clean anything with brake cleaner. That's why I didn't get carburetor cleaner. This just does the same thing, and it doesn't harm anything. So just say, like, if I wanted to clean, like, see how this oil here? This brake cleaner will clean that off. So it's good for your regular engines in the house, in the car and everything. Yeah, if I wanted to clean any oil, see, just takes it right off. That's a little bit of rust, but if I wanted to spray this whole thing down, it's not gonna harm anything, and it evaporates real quick. It dries real quick. And again, no harm. It's just as good as carburetor cleaner, but it's safer. So if you had any oil spots, you did an oil change and you wanted to spray off any oil spots, then this is what you would use and stuff. But this here can get hosed down. But you see, like here where the oil is right there, you see? Just gets it right off. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enter this way here to the carburetor as it goes down, and then I'm gonna pull the choke because there's a flap in here and it's gonna leak. It should leak right at the bottom, but this one moves good. That's the choke and run. Okay, and then I'm gonna get right here. And then I'm gonna wipe that down too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got the rag here. Because you want to get all that shellac. And that's what turpentine's paint is. Gas is basically turpentine. Will turn to turpentine. And then, like I said, this is just what you call shellac. And then this will take this shellac off here. And get this nice and shiny. And see? And if you have to have a little wire brush to help you, you get a wire brush. But all that shellac, it's got to come out, okay? So I'm going to... All right, shellac's a little bit heavy on there. So I got my regular brush. This is a brass brush. And then I have my regular wire brush right there. Okay, and I'm gonna scrub that inside there and spray at the same time. All right, and you can see there, go with my powder brush, and then I got my wire brush. And I'll do this and spray, do this and spray. If you want to wear a mask, you can wear a mask. And you see on my fingertips, it's all coming out. Look at all that. That's shellac. All right, I'm going to keep it. There you have it, nice and clean. Now, with the screw here, make sure you get the tip. Because that tip here has a little bit of shellac. Like I said, any little particle, that sucker will contaminate your gas and destroy your gas. Okay, I think I got everything off of it. Just a little bit more. Take everything off. That thing is moving freely. That's your float. And like I said, I'm gonna spray some down the center one more time. Now, in this situation, I just gotta pray that that's all, that inside there is good. I don't see nothing running out. I don't think it's clogged. But I just gotta pray that again. But that's going into the cylinder. That goes into the cylinder. The fuel's up here for the prime. The float releases gas into here. So, all right, now I can put my housing back on. Now, I'm sure there's a gasket up on top of that housing there, so I'm sure that should be good. But the whole carburetor kit comes complete. All you do is you take 2 screws off. There is no adjusting on here, the fluid or anything like a car. And then I just gotta find my tools. It's one thing about being a mechanic. You lay your tool down and thing. This is hand tight. That should be good. That should be good. That's hand tight. All right. Now to the air filter part, which I don't know what the heck I did with the old one. And I got lucky. Now you see some sand around here. If you want to, you can spray up the whole thing here, because you don't want no sand. Sometimes ants build up in here. And again, that will it will evaporate. It's gonna dry. And then this goes like this, perfect fit. All right, the only thing next is gonna be is the friggin' fuel. Let's go get the fuel. All right, I didn't show you the last time I went to go get fuel here, but I always add this to my fuel thing because that's for storage. But the fuel that I went and got for this, the lawnmowers, okay, it's a non-ethanol fuel that's made for lawnmowers, small engines, and people do use them on their cars. Just make sure to see if your car can use it. And what it does is it doesn't run the ethanol and it doesn't dirty up your valves. But this is specifically good for small engines. And I have the additive in it. So I'm getting ready. All right, let me shut. All right, that's off. That's off. And let me get some fuel in here. All right, I only put half of it because if this doesn't work, and you see, I'm getting a leak. And that's not good. That's fuel. And that is coming from the friggin' thing. Okay, see, I have a fuel leak already. You can see it right. Yep, I got a fuel leak, so that tells me only one thing. Something's not good here. There's a gasket or something. Or try to tighten it up a little bit more, because there should be no leaks. Yeah, it's still leaking. All right, that gasket is shot right there. I gotta try to either make a gasket, but that gasket here is shot. It's not holding anything. Shoot. Now it makes me wonder because this is closed. This valve is closed. So there should be no gas going to there, but there is gas. That's open. That's closed. That valve does have a flaw to it. All right, I got to figure out something. That's going to be the most hardest gasket to find in the world. But in Puerto Rico, they normally get a box and you make a gasket. My circle might have to be a little bit bigger. All right, let me cut this circle just a little bit bigger. Let me get this up because this thing is draining all the freaking fuel that I have. And thank God I only put half. But that stopper is not stopping, so that means the seal for the stopper is not stopping the fuel. Now, why did that stop now? Yeah, it won't stop it. Okay. Yeah, that stopper. Okay. All right, I'm catching the fuel. Let me go make a bigger washer, but this washer is no good. That's what's happening here. Okay, let me. All right, nah, it didn't work. Puerto Rican gasket did not work. It's gonna be a bitch to find that. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to find that gasket. That's probably gonna be at a hardware store. Hang on, the Puerto Rican gasket might have worked. I mean, I can even use this if I had wanted to. Just any wood. I mean, any cardboard. That's all a gasket is. I think the Puerto Rican gasket work. I wish I would have showed you, but the friggin' camera didn't go on, but that's it. That worked. That worked good. Look at it, stopped. The Puerto Rican gasket works, guys. And like I said, they normally use cereal bottles, anything cardboard. And look at that. That bitch sealed. No drip, no nothing. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner for all that gas, because the brake cleaner will evaporate and this rag is going in the garbage. Do my floor too. It worked. The Puerto Rican, I wish I would have showed you how I made it, but basically I just cut that cardboard. I just cut it into a circle. I put a circle in the middle, and it's just like this here. This was just too small. And basically you got a piece of cardboard, cereal box. I've seen people use them as head gaskets and everything. But that sucker is working. All right, let's try to get this bitch started now. See how fast that evaporates? That'll take a little bit longer, but it is evaporating. There, that'll evaporate the gas and everything. But the Puerto Rican gasket trick worked. Let's open her up. Now we're sending full fuel to that. And it is not leaking. It is not leaking. So you know what the next step is. Turn it on. Start, I pull back. All right, let me get my thing set up to start. All right, here we go. Let me say this, guys. If you're having a bad day, a good day, or whatever day, or you fall into complications like that, don't give up, man. Don't give up. All right, you get to see my chicken legs. Here we go. Let's hope everything there is on the go. Got my thing on so I don't get frustrated. No leaking gas. Everything's perfect. Hold this here because this sucker likes to pull up. And I don't know if it's going to go on one stop or not. And that's what that gas is, E10. I'll show you up here. Here we go. Remember, it's 2015. It doesn't sound like spark. Come on, baby. Light my fire. Uh-oh, there we go. I got it. I got it. Carburetor sounds good, no rushing. That's the gas that I got. They sell it at Walmart by us. No leak. Running steady. Now let's test out the water pressure. All right, one or two things I want to let you guys know when you're trying to start one of these, okay? Never run the water, because what happens is this will fill up with pressure and you won't be able to turn that because you're turning that and the water. That's before you start. Say if you're power washing and you know, you had to shut it off because you got to move to another section. This here, you have to release the water. Right there, you release the water pressure. And what that does is that releases any pressure in the line and any pressure build up here. Because again, if this is filled up with water, this is built up with pressure, you will not get this started. You will have a hard, you wouldn't even be able to pull that. So right now I have it connected. And let's see, guys. I ran it for a little bit. The motor did kind of went a little bit, but not a one bad. Just a little hesitation there. Let me get her set up. And let's see. Let's see. Let's try test number 2. Don't have to choke it because it was on already. Water's off. And one pull. One pull, you can't ask for nothing better than that. You cannot ask for nothing better. All right, let me turn the water. Oh, now you hear the water engaged in the motor. So now it's turning the motor with water. Let's see how good. Remember, 2015, this gun has not been used. So a little loose there, I might have to tighten it. Look at that. Son of a gun. I did it. I gotta tighten that neck right there. Now this is what I was telling you. I'm done with it. I shut it off. I'm not gonna be able to remove that again. That hose isn't gonna come off, number one. I'm not gonna be able to start this with the water in it. Oh no, this one has a clutch. But either way, this is what you got to do. You release the pressure. That releases any water pressure and everything in there. Then that bottom hose can come off. And that's it, dude. That is it. Let me recap everything for you. This Black & Decker did its job. But unfortunately, it died. It was pretty good, but like I said, not making stuff like they used to. Well, there it goes, guys. I power washed it. It looks real clean. No drippy drip. Starts on one stop. Another device for our arsenals. That's when we thought we were getting rid of stuff. We just added the power washer. I gotta get this up in there for where the hurricane tanks. But thank God we did not have to use. Okay. I don't use the detergent part of it, but you can if you want to, but it says there, use pressure washer only detergent. So, but that's it, guys. I mean, not only is this video was here to repair this power washer, hopefully it was a good motivational video. Get on out there. You see something in the garbage and the engine turns, well, guess what? Doesn't mean it's dead. And it's funny because I used that snowblower for 3 years. For 3 years I used it. And then I moved to Florida and I sold that sucker for 75 bucks back in '93. So, just shows you right there what you can do. All right, all that's left was my tripod. Amazing tripods. Now I'm just gonna sweep up some of this. I sprayed some brake cleaner here because there was some gas, of course, and stuff. And look, and like I said, it's another spot in my surgery center. This had so many engine replaces, transmission replaces, engine builds in this surgery center. So until the next one, guys, thanks for joining me. See ya.